Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kerry Dupree, and we have started here over in Old Donyo in Kenya with some massive elephant tuskers again today. There's been so many elephants here the last couple of days. It's been absolutely incredible watching these elephant bulls coming down. We've also had giraffe the whole week lurking around this waterhole, also waiting for an opportunity to have a drink. It was a bit quiet yesterday, so the giraffe got a nice chance to have a drink at the waterhole. But yeah, lovely to see this massive elephant tusker here with us today. A nice way to start off the show. So our director team today in MC, we have Jordan and Tadiwa, and on tech we have John and MJ. So yeah, just a reminder that this is a live and interactive experience. So if you are watching on our website, you can register to ask your questions. Let me know how your weekend is going, what snacks you have with you on the show today, or what you had for a nice late lunch or breakfast or brunch. There is also a QR code on screen that you can use now, and we also have a WhatsApp line that you can use to send through your questions and comments. We named a new elephant bull at this waterhole yesterday, a wonky tusk, so very interesting or unusual elephant bull that has been coming down and has a very strange tusk. So his one tusk is straight down, the other tusk kind of curves around underneath his trunk, so he is called Wonky Tusk now. So we'll see if we can see Mr. Wonky Tusk today, or if he's anywhere around. But yeah, what a lovely scene this is. We've also got some eland that have come down to join us at the waterhole today. Old Donyo has not disappointed us this week. It has been very active here at Old Donyo over in Kenya. We have some comments coming through. Catherine, hello. I hope you are having a lovely day, Catherine. We are having a nice warmer day here in South Africa. I must say I'm actually wearing shorts, although I'm covered in blankets and still have some jerseys on. But apparently we're expecting a bit more warmer weather in parts of South Africa over the weekend. So fingers crossed. I hope everyone is enjoying a nice warmer day in South Africa, if that's where you're watching from. But yeah, thank you for all the warm regards and warm wishes everyone has been sending to us over the week. We had a lot of our viewers sending us some warm weather. Double P, a good day, Double P. Double P is sending good day, saying good day to the Wild Earth team, our FC, and Catherine and all the other Wild Earth explorers. Double P, thank you for joining us on the Saturday. I know everyone has very busy lives, so it's great to see so many viewers with us today. We've got Harriet Hodgins, hello Kerry, FC, Wild Earth chatters. Oh yes, and happy Women's Day from a stormy Cape Town. Shame, Harriet. I hope that you are able to join in some of the festivities in Cape Town. I know South Africa is very good with celebrating Women's Day. I know there's normally marathons. There was a cycle race past my house this morning. So if any of our viewers were out there running or cycling, all the best. And yeah, just appreciation for the women out there today. Lucy, lovely to be aboard with you today on Live at the Waterhole, so thank you for watching, Lucy. Erica Oldno says, hi Kerry and FC. Apparently it is raining cats and dogs in Cape Town. Oh no, that is not great weather. I hope those runners and cyclists don't get too cold in that miserable Cape Town weather with all the Women's Day festivities. So we've got Harriet Smith is asking a question about what is the difference between an African and Indian elephant. So Harriet, obviously besides the obvious of habitat and distribution, so they occur and live in very different parts of the world. You won't find an Indian elephant in Africa, and you will not find an African elephant in India unless they're in a zoo. Indian elephants also have much smaller ears than our African elephant, much smaller tusks, and in general their bodies are a lot smaller as well. It's a very impressive elephant bull here that has a rather itchy leg. He is huge. Check at this big guy. So we've had lots of elephant bulls through this week, But yeah, this guy's definitely one of the bigger individuals I've seen coming through. We've had another elephant bull with a very long, thin tusks that we suspected might have been 1 ton, but he was way too small to be 1 ton. So nice to see all these huge elephant bulls coming through. But I am glad that there are only 2 elephant bulls at the pan today. At least all the animals can come through and have a chance to drink. So Canine Girl says, hi everyone, looking forward to some great sightings live at the waterhole. Apparently you are packing for a camping trip, Canine Girl. I'd love to know where you are heading to on your camping trip. Sounds rather exciting. If it's anytime soon, you better take lots of warm blankets, sleeping bag inners to keep warm in this very cold winter weather. Duncan has sent through his comment. Hello, Kerry. Having a great afternoon here in Kenya. Oh, Duncan is coming to us live from Kenya. How awesome, Duncan. I hope you're having a great day in Kenya. What is the weather like in Kenya today, Duncan? It looks quite overcast, but cool. The elephants haven't been too keen on mud bathing the last couple of days. It looks like the weather's been nice and cool over in Kenya, and a bit of a breeze as well. So I'd love to know how the weather is in Kenya. Brian says, hi Kerry, happy Women's Day and happy birthday to your mom. Happy birthday to Brian's mom. I hope you are watching with us today. I hope you have a lovely day. Incredible that you can celebrate Women's Day and your mother's birthday all on the same day. I think that means double flowers and double chocolates, no? I think I'll definitely, your mom might need to get some double gifts there because of Women's Day. Oh, check, we've got a little eland that's in this group coming in. It's a nice small group of eland. A few youngsters, which is always a good sign. Jive Bunny apparently is busy at Boulders Beach Bar. So Jive Bunny says it is busy at the Boulders Bodybuilders Bar over in Old Donyo. Sorry, that was a bit of a tongue twister. Yes, Jive Bunny, it definitely has been a bodybuilders bar here lately at Old Donyo, especially early in the week. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, there were so many elephants, between 7 to 10 very big elephant bulls, making it quite difficult for anything else to come and have a drink. And last week we had the zebra and the elephants had a bit of a standoff, fighting. Poor zebra were trying to get into the waterhole. Elephants kept chasing them away, splashing them with water. It was quite entertaining to watch. So our big male eland has just moved off to the right here. So these big male eland can weigh anything between about 700 to 800 kilograms. Females normally weighing in at about 300 to 400 kilograms, a lot less big and bulky than these big male eland. They're such a majestic antelope. Earlier in the week we were talking about how they have such a very good ability of jumping over fences from a standstill, just like kudu. So they can be quite conniving, and especially in private reserves they do like to escape. But it's all an adaptation for getting away from predators, to help them escape being killed by predators. Check out these youngsters. Very cute little, almost like a little nursery. These young eland from the previous calving season. They're probably looking at about 6 to 7 months old already, these little eland.
This is an unbelievable afternoon.
Step into the heart of Africa from the comfort of your home.
Female leopard tracks over here.
Join our expert guides for a live 3-hour safari where every moment is real, unscripted, and unforgettable. Ask questions,
Animals rely on their senses.
share your thoughts, and be part of the experience as we explore together. Safari Live. Safari, wine, and waterfalls. The ultimate African adventure. Sip South Africa's finest wines. Experience a world-class safari among Africa's iconic wildlife. And stand in front of Victoria Falls, one of the natural wonders of the world. All this can be yours with Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
Us today, Susan, we have been checking up on the cameras, seeing what is happening at all of our different locations. So I think we're going to have quite an awesome day today. I've been on live at the waterhole the last couple of days, and we've had some really amazing sightings. It's been quite busy with all the elephant activity, of course, with our new locations in Botswana at Camelthorn and Mino Aquina. Lots of elephants, lots of zebra. We've been doing some really cool birding as well. We had some nice interesting elephants over at Tembe yesterday, so we're definitely going to keep our eyes peeled and make sure we see as much as we possibly can here live at the waterhole. I must say I'm rather glad that I'm in a nice warm cozy house with a little blanket. I got a knee blanket on rather than sitting in one of these cold hides. Normally these hides, if it's a sunken in container hide or concrete hide, they're quite cold. Sit there and you're a little bit chilly, praying that your guide bought you a blanket or at least a warm cup of tea. But in winter, sitting inside a hide watching a waterhole can be rather chilly. Erica, yes, I agree with you. These eland, they do have very kind faces. I feel like eland, same as giraffe, have a very calm, placid aura, a vibe about them. They're very calm antelope. Main predator for eland would most likely be lion. So lion are capable of bringing down these giant eland antelope. But funny enough, I've never heard of it before, but in Mabula, the cheetah, those two male cheetah there at Mabula, they are apex predators, and they have been known for bringing down female eland, even pregnant female eland, which to me is completely boggles my brain to think of cheetah bringing down an eland. It's quite a large antelope, a bit too, in my opinion, I would think it's a bit out of range for a cheetah to bring down, but those two male cheetah over in Mabula are apex predators and very seasoned and skilled hunters. So yeah, in some areas cheetah can even bring down little giraffe, as apparently I've heard as well. It's crazy how predators can learn and adapt to feeding on different types of prey species. I have a comment from Miani. Hello Miani, thank you for joining us today. I hope you are also warm and bundled up, enjoying your live at the waterhole with us. Deb D, hi, saying hi Kerry, lovely to have you here today. Thank you Deb D, it is lovely to have you with us as well. Sorry folks, we've just linked quickly across to Mino Aquina here in Botswana, one of our new locations, and there seems to be some chaos in the elephant world. This breeding herd has very quickly rushed down to the waterhole. I'm not sure what bee has gotten into their bonnet, but seems to be a bit of chaos going on here. Maybe they were excited for a meet and greet. Maybe they were just very thirsty. Often when elephant herds come down to a waterhole, they can be quite thirsty and desperate to get down to the waterhole for some water. You can even see the little babies from sometimes running as fast as they can. So earlier this week we were talking about waterholes and the significance of waterholes and why they're so important, and we touched on social interaction. So you can see here with these elephants how important the social interaction is for them. They might have just been excited to socialize with some other elephants as well. These youngsters need to be around other elephants so that they can develop those social bonds and also develop their social interaction abilities with one another. Joanne Mello, happy Catterday to all the Wild Earth and fans, and Kerry, thank you, Joanne Mello. I'm actually not too sure what happened on the morning drive today. If any of our viewers were watching the sunrise safari, was it indeed a happy Catterday? Did they have any felines on the morning drives? I know Cedric has been on an absolute roll with his leopards. There's been lots of leopard activity over in Sandringham. I know that Maxine earlier in the week also got the Black Dam Male Lion Pride, so she had some really good luck with the lions, and of course the hyenas have also been quite active lately, but I'm not too sure on this morning's sunrise safari. So if anyone was watching, please feel free to let me know if it indeed was a happy Catterday this morning over in Sandringham. Check at these elephants interacting with one another. Right, so we've got a question here from Jive Bunny. Jive Bunny is asking, is this northern Botswana? I've only been to Chobe. So I've never been to this exact location here at Menakwena on the Bateti River, but as far as I can understand, it's in the central district of Botswana. So it's quite near to Maun. It's about an hour and a half to 2 hours drive from Maun, and some of the landmarks in this area is that it is perched on a cliff just above this Bateti River, which forms the edge of the Mkhadi Pans National Park. So again, some special features in this area is that it does get the front row seats to the annual zebra and wildebeest migration as herds move along the river during the dry season. So that's what we've been witnessing here, why we've been seeing so many zebra and so many wildebeest. Otherwise, I don't think it would be quite as normal to see such a large number of zebra and wildebeest in these kind of areas, but they're migrating, moving through this area using the river line as their guide, so that they know that they'll be able to find water along this river line. So it is kind of perfectly positioned as a gateway to the Mkhadi ecosystem. It does combine a variety of riverine wilderness with pans and desert scenery. So I think it would be a great place to go and explore. It wasn't really on my list for Botswana, but I think this could be quite an awesome little location to go and spend a few nights camping. So Wildlife Lady is asking, is this a different waterhole from where all the hippo are? So yes, Wildlife Lady, this is a different waterhole. I think it's on the same river. Where all the hippo that we see, that is Camel Thorn, which I think is also in the same area on the same river, if I'm not mistaken. This particular location, I think these little pans are way too shallow for any crocodiles and hippos. We haven't seen any crocodiles or hippos yet. It's a young elephant bull, full of nonsense, very excited to come for a drink. Seems to have a little bit of attitude and swagger, this guy. So yeah, basically, I think this area here is not, these pans are not deep enough for hippos and crocodiles, but at Camelthorn, I think those little waterholes and pans there are a little bit deeper and lower lying, so that they are able to have a very healthy hippo and crocodile population over in Camelthorn. So Harriet.
For years, we've shared virtual wildlife. Now, let's experience it for real. I'm Lauren Arthur, and I'd love to show you my amazing home here in the Greater Kruger of South Africa. This 5-night journey is an exclusive connection to my piece of untamed Africa. I live here in these gorgeous landscapes surrounded by epic wildlife. The wild is calling, so come and join me.
Even a hyena coming into the action as well now. Oh my word! She's stalking the hyena now. Leopard, hyena, lion, all together in one shot. Whoop. Woo. This is action-packed.
Do you want to know why impala are the most common antelope we find here in the Kruger National Park? You can ask me questions like this in real time. Our safaris are live and interactive here in the heart of Africa. Join me on Safari Live. Connect with nature.
If you love watching Wild Earth, here's a little tip. Become a member. You can gain access to the channel ad-free, you can rewind and re-watch sightings, and you can join our Tuesday live safaris. There's also behind the scenes videos, fireside chats, and every Safari Live episode, whenever you want it. It's just a better way to stay connected to nature.
Bull kept occasionally flicking his head from side to side to look for this lion, and the lion would sneak behind him and sneak behind him. I think the lion lost his nerve in the end because it seemed like a bit of a sub-adult lion. It wasn't a fully grown male lion or anything like that. So yes, predators will often hang out at waterholes. If they've come in for a drink, they might lie in the shade of the tree, take an opportunity to get a bit of a free meal. But with all these elephants here, the elephants do form quite a lot of protection for like the zebra, for example. But yeah, same as with the giraffe, why giraffe are so nervous when coming down to drink. It's so important to have all these animals alarm calling for each other, alerting and awareing each other of any predators, because it does make a very easy meal for a predator. If they patiently wait long enough, they might get an opportune moment to make a kill. I think these elephants in the distance there, if there's probably water there, yes, but there's also some mineral licks. I saw some elephants digging in the sand yesterday there. Seemed to be quite heavy concentration of possibly salt and minerals that the elephants are also mining for there. So Brian, talking about predators at waterholes, I do see some very nice little sneaky spots for lions to just be hiding up under the shade of some of these acacia trees. Maybe even a leopard could be just resting in one of these big shady trees. When it gets a bit quiet at the waterhole later on, that's when predators could come out and make a kill. When these waterholes are busy at peak hour like this, it's not always the most ideal time for lions to be hunting, especially with these elephants around. Elephants and lions, I'm sure you know, do not get on very well, so the elephants could actually chase the lions away the minute they are spotted. So Mpilo is asking, do crocodiles attack elephants when they drink from the waterhole? So Mpilo, crocodiles are much smaller than elephants. And even if it's a small elephant, it's huge risk that they would have to take trying to bring down an elephant with the mother or the cow elephant close by. So it's very rare, I think, to see a crocodile actually bringing down even a young elephant. Maybe if it's by itself, if it's an orphaned individual that's left at a pan and a crocodile finds an opportunity and it's not too big, he might take the chance. But I think at Tau, I actually saw one day a little baby elephant swimming in the pan with a crocodile right next to it. So I think those crocodiles know that don't want to mess with an elephant, female elephant, might get yourself into a bit of a sticky situation. So doesn't happen often, but what does happen with elephants, especially baby elephants, unfortunately, I've seen a lot of elephants with missing parts of their trunk. And if it's not caused by snaring, it can often be from predators like hyenas or lions. Maybe if there's a stage when the female elephant was alone and there were predators around, they will try to separate that little baby elephant from its mother. But elephant cows are very protective over their babies, so often they'll chase away the predators, but sometimes the predators end up getting a bit of a tip off of the baby elephant's trunk. So there was an elephant that I knew quite well. Her name was Kanyesi, which meant beard. She was a very small young elephant that was rescued. Her mother got killed and she was found at the kill site of her mother, and she had her trunk eaten off, parts of her trunk eaten off by hyenas. So the anti-poaching team went in and the wildlife vets came and they decided she was very dehydrated. She was had chunks out of her by hyenas, so they saved her and did rehabilitate her later, but they just wanted to make sure she could survive on her own. And it's amazing how she learned to adapt to feeding even though she only had half of her trunk. So when she fed, she would lean down or go onto her haunches and actually use her foot or her elbow as a way of assisting her while feeding. So it's incredible how wild animals, even if they lose limbs, they can still adapt to surviving in the wild. But I'll never forget that little elephant. She was such a good example of how resilience and persistence pays, and you'd think it's impossible for an elephant without a trunk to still survive, but she had her little fluffy whiskers on her chin, and she was so determined to continue life as a normal elephant. Was a very inspirational elephant, that little one. Alright folks, let's head over to Nguma, see what's happening at one of our other locations. Oh my goodness, check out this big elephant bull. So we've got a question. Oh, sorry folks, we've got some trouble with our camera over at Nguma. It's a bit, not a stable feed. So we have a floppy-eared elephant here. We had a few floppy-eared elephants yesterday over in Tembe. So this elephant bull could have damaged his ear from fighting or from vegetation while feeding. yesterday we did have a discussion about some elephant cows in the same herd that all had floppy ears. So there were 3 elephants at Tembe yesterday, tuskless females with floppy ears, and we were discussing how if there are a few individuals within one family group or a herd, how it could actually be a deficiency of some sort, maybe a calcium deficiency or some issue with the cartilage in their ears, which is hereditary and maybe passed from one individual to the next. But this elephant bull, he definitely looks like it was either damaged in a fight or, yeah, often when elephants are rushing through vegetation, trees, branches, maybe running away from other bulls or other elephants or lions, they can quite easily damage those ears of theirs. So Janku Johnson has asked, would love to go to Botswana but stuck in Cape Town storm. So Janku, I think now is the best time to go to Botswana. Yeah, it is still cold in the early mornings and evenings, but I think it's definitely better than that miserable Cape Town weather in August, September. I think Botswana would be quite a good exchange for Cape Town weather. At least during the day it's nice and warm and sunny, but yet not too hot just yet. So UAE, Mr. H UAE 87 says, we saw a crocodile at Mino Aquena on the 3rd of August. Okay, Mr. H UAE, I'd love to know if it was a small crocodile or a big crocodile, because there really doesn't seem to be much water there to me. I wouldn't say it's a great place for a crocodile to hang out, especially if there's lots of elephants moving through there. Alrighty folks, let's head across to one of our other cameras and see what is waiting for us. Just come across to Jackie's Sabi house here in Sabi Sands, and look at this massive buffalo breeding herd that's come down for a drink. How exciting. We've still got our hippo, big male hippo in the can as well. Lots of ox pickers. Trying to see. It's like almost impossible to even try to count these buffalo. It's a very good sized breeding herd, lots of cows. I can see a couple of buffalo bulls here and there. So I was doing some research recently, and apparently I know often our viewers ask us about how many buffalo bulls would you find in a large breeding herd. So on average, in a big breeding herd, you might get 1 buffalo bull for every 4 to 6 cows. That gives you a bit of a good idea on how many buffalo bulls you could find in a large herd like this. Oh, yellow-billed oxpeckers. Wow, how cool is this? So folks, you don't often see yellow-billed oxpeckers, so nice to see some yellow-billed oxpeckers. If you were sitting at this pan we were speaking about earlier this week, photography, and this would make for a great photographic moment here. Some nice close-ups of this yellow-billed oxpecker. Getting very comfortable on this buffalo bull head, zooming away. Wow, I have not seen yellow-billed oxpeckers for quite some time, so that is quite a cool bird sighting there. The more common oxpeckers are red-billed oxpeckers as opposed to yellow-billed. Lots of birds calling as well. There's lots of activity at this pan. Okay, I'm going to try not to talk over all this commotion, folks. I think let's just take in this incredible moment of this breeding herd of buffalo that have come down to drink, and listen to all the birds that are calling as well.
This unfolds in front of you.
At Wild Earth, we believe every story has the power to create change. That's why we've launched the Wild Earth Impact Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to conservation and social impact. By showcasing conservation stories, we can change lives, protect nature, and empower communities. We have partnered with Empowers Africa to accept tax-deductible donations from US donors. Your donation will help fund critical programs that support our mission. Join us and be part of the change.
Would you like to know at what age a buffalo calf gets its horns? These are questions that you can ask me in real time. Our safaris are live and interactive here in the heart of Africa. Join me on Safari Live and connect with nature.
Join our expert guides at dawn for a live, immersive safari as the bush comes to life.
Found ourselves a chameleon, and look how he's changed color.
Every sunrise brings new discoveries.
Pound for pound, a leopard is one of the strongest cats around.
Ask questions, share your thoughts, and connect with nature, live and in real time.
Great excitement, great happiness.
Start your day with adventure.
D was asking any chance of watching the vulture feeding today. Well, Deb D, by your request, we have quickly linked across to the vulture feeding. It's been a bit quiet this week at the vulture restaurant, so nice to see that today we have a lot of vultures coming in for the feed. So quite a few more marabou stalks than usual, which is always great to see. So the majority of these vulture that we are looking at here are the white-backed vultures, as well as the little hooded vultures, which are slightly smaller, a little bit darker than these white-backed vultures. I have on a few occasions seen some Cape vultures here, or now known as Cape griffins, but always keep a lookout for some other cool little vulture species. Also, if we're lucky at the vulture feeding, sometimes warthogs come down and fight with the vultures for a little bit of a scrap of meat here and there. So warthogs, pigs, just like all pigs, are omnivores. They do also feed on meat. And I have seen warthogs, they like to eat the stomach content also at a kill. So not the most delightful meal, but I guess you have to get your protein fix from anywhere. Oopsie, just a marabou stalk managed to steal a bit of meat away. So have a look at these marabou. So interesting dynamic how the feeding works here. So of course, Your whiteback vultures are the strongest and they most in number, so they'll get in there first. The hooded vultures, they're just kind of looking for little scraps, picking off little pieces of meat from the bones here and there. And the marabous, because they've got those long legs, they are able to tower over the smaller vultures and possibly steal some food away from the other vulture species. So yes, marabous are mostly scavengers, but I have seen marabous hunting. So marabou storks will hunt in puddles, drying up puddles of water during the dry season for catfish or tilapia. So they do hunt, have a small percentage of their diet they might hunt, but generally they are scavengers as opposed to vultures, which are 100% scavengers. So we have a few comments here. So Catfan mentioned about the oxpeckers, so a moving buffet for the oxpeckers. Yes, Catfan, lovely to see those yellow-billed oxpeckers, and I really enjoyed listening to that 2 pearl-spotted owlets that were calling earlier at over at Jackie's Sabi house. Wildlife Lady was also commenting about our buffalo we were watching earlier. Buffalo might be around for the afternoon drives. Lions might also be following. So I have my fingers crossed, Wildlife Lady, for the afternoon sunset safari. If the buffalo are around, hopefully there will be some more lion activity. So Wildlife Lady again sent another comment. Definitely busy here today with the vultures and the marabou storks. Always a pleasure to see. So yes, Wildlife Lady, it is quite a busy day here at the vulture restaurant. For me, it's quite interesting if you watch this vulture feeding throughout the year to see how the numbers fluctuate. In the dry season, we're going into some really hard times for the wild animals out there in the bush, and the drier it gets, the more all-you-can-eat buffets are out there for these vulture. So definitely less vulture will come to this vulture restaurant in the dry season, and then the green season, when there's so much cover, the animals are all thriving, there are a lot more vulture that will come down to this vulture feeding. Absolute chaos when these vultures first get fed. There's just vultures everywhere and they're all fighting for as much food as they can get. I know vultures are quite they're not always given as much credit as I think they are due. So vultures are so important for the ecosystem. They play such a crucial role in our environment. They help to keep the ecosystem clean. All of this very nasty decaying flesh and matter that they feed on would cause a lot of disease, a lot of bacteria in the environment. So these vultures do play such an important role in keeping our ecosystem clean. They are like the waste disposal agents of the natural world. So if you're ever out in the bush on a walking safari, vultures can be quite good to pay attention to as well if you don't want to bump into a lion on a kill. So often you'll find at a kill site, if the vulture are on the ground, it almost always means that the predators could have left the kill. But if you are walking in the bush and you see a lot of vultures sitting in the trees, you must be very careful, because there could still be some kitty cats that are munching away on their carcass somewhere. So always pay attention to where vulture are. You don't want to bump into some lions while they are in the middle of feasting. You might not be very popular. So on a few occasions I've definitely escaped some interesting encounters with finding vultures in the trees. Quickly get back to the vehicle. We did a bit of a drive around, and 9 times out of 10 you'll find there's still lions on the kill or close by. So Rose is asking a question about this vulture restaurant. Does putting down food for the vultures make them dependent on being fed? So Rose, good question. Yes and no. For me, I often like to think that any safe place for vultures to eat, especially because most vulture species are either endangered, critically endangered, or threatened. So any place that is safe for vultures to, 1, feed, and 2, drink is so important for their species, because vultures, their population have been declining for many, many years, and some of the factors affecting their decline in numbers is poisoning of carcasses. So people might poison elephants to get their tusks, or lions to get their body parts, and vultures come in and they're a secondary animal that can still be affected by that poison. So unfortunately, poachers are not the most considerate of people. Not only do they poison the animal itself, but anything that feeds off of that carcass could then die after. So you'll get vultures, hyena, your little predators, jackals, serval, caracal, any small creatures that then come and feed off of these carcasses after then get affected by secondary poisoning. So having a site like this where vultures can come to eat in a safe place, they're not going to be killed, they're not going to be poisoned. Obviously vultures in themselves are quite valuable, so people will also poison vultures to get their body parts. A lot of traditional beliefs behind the fact that vultures' brains and eyes can see into the future. Witch doctors use their feathers, so they are also quite a valuable creature for witchcraft. So having a safe place for them to feed and drink, for me, is always really good, and really does help this species, because some areas are just not safe for them anymore. Alrighty folks, why don't we head back across to Old Donyo and see what's happening in Kenya. So it seems to be quite a nice calm setting here in Old Donyo at the moment. Everyone is drinking in peace. These 3 elephant bulls are being quite considerate. 4 elephant bulls being quite considerate in sharing their water hole. Our eland are still lurking around as well. I've seen quite a few little ox pickers on the backs of these eland too here in Kenya. So just a little bit of information, folks, about the yellow-billed ox picker over at in Jackie's Pan. We saw a yellow-billed oxpecker, and I got quite excited because yellow-billed oxpecker sightings are quite rare, also in Kruger National Park. So just to give you a bit of an idea that they are a very rare and overall considered to be, in some areas they are no longer occurring in some areas, these yellow-billed oxpeckers. So its distribution, they do have quite a patchy distribution in some areas, and yeah, why they are kind of on the decline is because these oxpeckers do often get affected by farming. So they're one of the species that gets affected by farmers and farming, because the dip that is used on these cattle, once these oxpeckers then go and feed on those ticks, can kill the little oxpeckers. So yeah, that's one of the factors affecting their species. Of course, habitat loss is another one. Reduction in host species, so the reduction in the amount of animals that they can actually host themselves on. But yeah, mainly that dip can cause quite an issue. I know in South Africa there is some oxpecker safe dip that has been developed in order to help to protect these little birds. So yeah, really cool to see those yellow-billed oxpeckers. I know in Kruger, if you go in at any gate, sometimes they'll often have posters asking you to report any sightings of those yellow-billed oxpeckers. Quite a few pregnant female zebra here in this little harem, and just admiring this very impressive specimen of a male eland. This eland that they get over in Kenya is still they get two species apparently, common eland and the East African eland. And East African eland is actually a subspecies of the common eland, and it is one of the most often seen eland species. So it has quite a distinctive dark ruff of hair on their forehead and often faintly vertical body stripes. So I'm going to guess these are most likely the subspecies of the East African eland because of those stripes. Have a look, this female. These females, you can see some stripes on their body. So Kenya does not have the giant eland. This giant eland occurs in West Africa and Central Africa. Just curious about which eland species these could be. It's a lovely photo with these female eland drinking. So eland are one of the largest antelope in the world. As I mentioned, the big males between, some of these eland can between 900 to 1,000 kilograms. So it's quite large. I mean, a big buffalo male is about 800 to 900 kilograms. I know some of the big males here in South Africa have been weighed into just over a ton. So yeah, very big antelope. Oh, we've got our one tusker with us. Yeah, look, this elephant is missing his tusk. What is this elephant bull up to? See how this elephant bull is using his foot to kick the dust into his trunk so that he can give himself a bit of a dust bath. This looks like quite a... Yeah, this elephant bull looks like could tell some stories. He's missing a tusk on the left hand side, and then he's got a very stumpy little short tusk on the right, which doesn't look very useful to me. So Rose is asking, is this a constantly fed waterhole with a pipe? So yes, Rose, on the other side of the pan here, on the opposite side of where this elephant bull is, there is a outlet where they pump this waterhole. Otherwise this waterhole would definitely have dried up ages ago. So it is good that they are providing some water to these animals here, because I think in this area there's not too many natural water sources that will survive the dry season. This elephant bull does look like he would be quite impressive if he did have two long matching tusks, but definitely will hinder his ability while fighting if he doesn't have a tusk and then has one very short tusk like that. Look at these two big balls. I feel like this elephant bull that's just arrived, he's sort of disrupted the drinking space here, because everything else seems to have moved off. So we've got a question from Brian. Brian is asking, Kerry, can we normalize giving names to animals that frequently visit waterholes, making them easier to reference? So yes, Brian, we do have a few names for some animals that have visited waterholes. We actually just named an elephant yesterday called Wonky Tusk. He's an elephant that has come to this waterhole quite often, and again, I've seen him before, but we didn't have a name for him, so we sent some feelers out yesterday, got some name suggestions, and then did a bit of a poll, and our viewers chose that he should be called Wonky Tusk. So we do have a couple of names for some elephants. We've got the big 1-ton elephant that comes through here. We have the one tusker, who is also named Lobolo. So yeah, we do have a few animals that we have named at waterholes. I do find it is easier to identify animals if you do give them names, but I know some people are very much against that. But yeah, especially if it's animals you're seeing frequently and quite often that have an interesting feature that differentiates them or kind of separates them from the other animals, it is quite easy to just give them a little name to remember them by. I wish I could hear what these elephants were saying to each other. I feel like they're having a full-on conversation. Of course, elephants do communicate in quite a lot of infrasonic vibrations through the ground, low-pitched murmurs that are unaudible to our human ears, but I feel like these elephant bulls are having a fat chat right here. They're not drinking. Definitely got... Their body language shows that they are, I wouldn't say a standoff, but again, maybe they're catching up, having a bit of a face-off. I feel like at some stage, one of these bulls are just going to start drinking and hope that the other one moves away. So I feel like they both want to drink from where the water is coming out cleanest. Oh, and our floppy-eared friend is back as well. And this looks like a very friendly meeting and greeting form of communication. So animals have many different types of communication. They have vocal communication, they use body language to communicate with each other, they have vocal gestures also that they'll use, and of course they have physical contact which they'll use as a form of communication. So I'm sure these two elephant bulls on the right, they seem to be long-lost friends. They're very close with one another. And there's obviously already been a bit of hierarchy determined between the two bulls. They could be really good friends. Doesn't seem to be much aggressive behavior between the two of them. So lovely to watch these elephants. Definitely bring a bit of peace. Feel like to just take in a bit of peace and quiet. All got their trunks bent into their mouths or over their trunks. I know there's some very strange interaction here. I really wish I could understand what these elephants were saying to each other. If any of our viewers want to send a suggestion, please feel free to put in your 2 cents here on what on earth do you think these elephants are busy communicating with each other? They've almost got their trunks wrapped around their tusks like a snake wrapped around a tree, and they're just standing. Doesn't seem like they're not being aggressive with one another. These two on the right seem to be quite good friends, but maybe they're not sure about the individual on the left. But yeah, I'd love to know what our viewers think is going on in these elephants' communication here. You know, often elephants, when they meet and greet each other, they'll often also, it's very strange, but they do it, they'll put each other's trunks in each other's mouths. Maybe it's a way of smelling the scent of the other individual. Maybe it's a trust bonding exercise, I don't know. But I often say to the viewers and guests when I have guests that if humans were to communicate like animals did, I think there would definitely be a lot of fights going on in the human world. Because can you imagine if you greeted someone and you instantly just went and put your trunk into their mouth? I think that would be frowned upon.
My name is Amy, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
What does it take to handle the wild? Balance. Determination. Focus.
Yaku!
And gear that can take a beating so you don't have to.
Would you like to know the difference between a male and a female wildebeest? You can ask me questions like this in real time. Our safaris are live and interactive here in the heart of Africa. Join me on Safari Live and connect with nature.
And that's it for this morning's drive.
She's just got an impala, everybody.
And we're going to be heading out and seeing what animals we can find.
On their day, maybe they had some bad behavior that they're also thinking about. Alrighty folks, why don't we head back to Menoakwena and see what's happening over in Botswana. Definitely a lot more elephant activity here in Menoakwena in Botswana than we had over in Oldonyo. Those elephants in Oldonyo were acting rather strange, I must say. So we've got some Egyptian geese here, some blacksmith lapwings. I do love the elephant carpets. So when you see lots of elephant dung, that's all kind of congregated in one place. They almost look like these little brown elephant carpets. Oh, and we've got an elephant that is having a bit of a mud bath. Look at this guy go. So just as our elephants in Old Donyo were possibly having a mindful moment, I think let's just enjoy this entertaining moment of this little young elephant bull having a mud bath, listen to the sounds of the zebra, and just have a mindful moment for ourselves. Just enjoying listening to the sounds of the bush here. I know often I've actually, as a guide, I've fallen asleep in hides many times just listening to the sound of the bush and animals coming to visit. Sometimes hide sits can be a little bit unproductive. The patience does pay off for sure, and we're lucky right now. We can link between lots of different locations when one location gets quiet. But if you're sitting at one hide and there's nothing there, it can sometimes be a bit of a wait before your next animals or suspects come to the hide. So I've had many days of falling asleep in a hide when we're just maybe us guides sitting, waiting, doing bird counts or waiting for any animals to come in. And as soon as you hear a large mammal or large something breathing like a rhino or a buffalo or any large animal footprint like hooves coming up to the pan, then you all of a sudden wake up and you see, oh my gosh, is that a black rhino? Whoa, is that a leopard? Get so super excited. It's nice to listen to the natural sounds that you'd be hearing at this hide. So Trixie Rose has sent through another comment about what our elephants were possibly communicating about. Trixie Rose says maybe the elephants are a subsonic choir singing away happily. Trixie, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what our elephants were up to, especially because their trunks were so strangely balanced onto their tusks. A very strange moment there with these elephants in Old Donyo. So apparently there is a crocodile or a few crocodiles that live at this pan. So I'm keeping my eyes peeled to see if I can see any of those crocodiles. Again, as I mentioned, the pans on this side of the Batete River seem to be quite shallow. So if I was a hippo or crocodile, I would not want to be living in this pan. Lots of animals coming to drink, taking up your habitat. Elephants, look, the elephants were just mud bathing and wallowing just now in the water. Not something I would want to roll on top of me. I didn't think I would like an elephant rolling on top of me. So yeah, with these dwindling water sources, that means crocodiles and hippos' habitats are getting smaller and smaller. So as these water levels start dropping, you would if you were a crocodile or a hippo, you would definitely want to move to an area with more water so you are safer, less vulnerable and exposed to the elements. Have a look at all these elephant pathways, elephants coming, elephants going. Looks like a lot of dung from the wildebeest, but it would be nice to see some buffalo breeding herds coming down here. The zebra continue part of their migratory route. They might not find water for quite a few kilometers. They need to store their energy and drink as much as they can. Oh, little elephant suckling. Yeah, lots of dung from these wildebeest coming through. See all these little pathways going up out into the bush. Some of these elephant pathways in the soft sand. Ooh, what is that? Sounded kind of dinosaur-like. Probably a grumpy elephant. Elephants do have quite an array of petrifying sounds that they make. Their screams and squeals at night, especially if they're being chased or fighting another elephant. Apparently the dinosaurs from Jurassic Park, a lot of the sounds that the dinosaurs make, they took these calls from different animals. So from forest elephants screaming and squealing at night, lion and bear. So they use these three animals' calls in order to come up with the sounds that they used for the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. See this female elephant's, she's got quite a bit of liquid coming from her temporal gland. So it's not just male elephants that secrete this liquid from their temporal glands when they're in musk, but females that even So that was a zebra in distress, and then I don't know, there's an elephant that's also making some very peculiar sounds. Just listening to these strange sounds the elephants and zebra are making. So we have a question here from PB and Jam is asking, what are the water levels? Are the water levels the same as last year? So PB and Jam, there depends on the area, I think you'd have to say. So generally in Botswana in February this year, Botswana did experience some severe flooding across most regions of Gaborone, Francistown and Ganzi. So this did lead to quite a few rivers and dams that haven't been fully flooded in years, being almost 90% flooded. So it was great for the country. It filled up their dams and water sources, especially around the big cities. As far as the Okavango Delta flood waters, so a lot of Okavango Delta's waters were much higher in 2025 than they were in 2024. The floodwaters do flow into the delta, so it's arriving in 3 distinct peaks. A sign of strong flooding this year does show a lot of higher volumes of water, and also in these catchment areas, a lot of water has been flowing through. So yes, Botswana, in most areas of Botswana, did experience a lot more rainfall this year as opposed to last year. So it's very good news, especially because of those Okavango Delta water levels. I was in the Delta last year for a few safaris, and I must say I was quite saddened to see that there was not nearly as much water as I expected. There was lots of islands and mainland that is normally flooded. So yeah, this year it's good to hear that a lot of great water has come down from Angola, and a lot of areas are now flooded. So yeah, very awesome to know that the water rainfall has been really good coming down into Botswana this year. Oof, this female zebra is massive. I don't think she's going to make the rainy season. She's probably going to pop in the next couple of weeks. So zebra gestation period is very similar to horse, about 300 to 360 days gestation period. Shame, imagine carrying that large belly around with you. Yeah, I feel like zebra and sometimes giraffe, they look so pregnant. For their last month, they look like they're going to pop almost every day. See the stripes bulging on the side of her belly. Oh, look at this tiny little elephant. So there's a few little baby elephants in the middle of this breeding herd, or this area. They're very cute. I do also have some Egyptian geese that are in this pan too. So it looks very... So it does look very hot and unforgiving out in the open here, but the minute you go into the shade of one of these trees on the bank here, it actually can get quite nice and cool during the day. So perfect place to go for a nap. This zebra's got quite unusual legs. They're almost completely stripeless. They're still the Birchall's or Plains zebra here in Botswana, but every zebra is different and unique. So almost looks like she has stepped into a trough of paint. Her legs are completely bare of stripes. So all these vocalizations we're listening to for the...
I met this remarkable rhino bull, whose name is Samson, last year in a place of extraordinary beauty, history and story. I'm going back there to see him in October, and I think you should come with me to his mysterious mountain fastness.
The Wild Earth Impact Foundation is a non-profit that uses the power of wildlife storytelling as a force for good. We create sustainable development projects that showcase conservation stories, empower people, and inspire environmental action. As a registered South African PBO, you can make a tax-deductible donation to the Wild Earth Impact Foundation. To find out more, visit our website.
Join us on the greatest and largest game drive in the world.
chidzana na tsima ra ntumbuluko dlovukazi ya xitsundzuxo hosi ya rhumela.
How cool is this?
I haven't seen any baboons here at Menoakwena. I think late afternoons might be a cool time to tune into this camera and also Camelthorn and see if there's any baboons coming down for an afternoon drink. So it's quite interesting. Yesterday afternoon at Tembe, there was an elephant cow that had a bee in her bonnet and was chasing other elephants all over the place. It's not really common for elephant cows to act in this way. It's not quite acceptable behavior. Elephant bulls are more known to do silly things like that, like chasing other elephants around. But this elephant cow was, chasing all the other elephants away from the pan and into the forest. These elephants will come down. Obviously, if there's not much water available, they might spend a bit longer here in order to get enough water. Shame there's a limping zebra that's coming down for a drink. So again, this does happen this time of year. So much pressure on these zebras to move far distances in order to get to the next waterhole and grazing areas, so injuries can occur. As we spoke about earlier, it's incredible how wild animals are so resilient and can survive many different challenges in their lives. I suspect this is two stallions that are chasing each other around. Probably trying to, defend their females. Oop. They sound like hoopoes. Could be the green wood hoopoes that we're just calling. Do love the green wood hoopoes. They're normally in little flocks, anything between about 3 to 6 together, and they've got the little red feet, red bill, and very shiny, glossy feathers. Fly from tree to tree as they probe their little long beaks into the bark of the tree, looking for any grubs or insects. So Lizo, thank you for your comment. Lizo is asking, hi, I'm from the UK and don't know anything about wild animals. My question is about Menoakwena. There's often a sort of weird howling in the background. What is this? Very interesting, Lizo M. Thank you for your question and for watching live at the waterhole with us today. So it depends. I would ask, what time is the strange howling that you're hearing? If it's early hours of the morning or late hours of the afternoon, it could be a jackal calling. So jackal often do sound like wolves, or a bit of a howling sound. So it could be the black-backed jackal that you're hearing.
My name is Amy, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
Join our expert guides at dawn for a live, immersive safari as the bush comes to life.
Found ourselves a chameleon, and look how he's changed color.
Every sunrise brings new discoveries.
Pound for pound, a leopard is one of the strongest cats around.
Ask questions, share your thoughts, and connect with nature live and in real time.
Great excitement, great happiness.
Start your day with adventure. Are you ready for the adventure of a lifetime? Wild Earth Travel's newsletter is your passport to a magical journey. Explore exclusive travel options featuring special offers at stunning Wild Earth locations, and all hosted by your favorite presenters. Don't miss out. Head over to our website and subscribe to the Wild Earth Travel newsletter today and stay in the know on all our unforgettable adventures. Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
Alrighty folks, let's head across to Jabulani and see what else is out there today. Oh, hello. Looks like we've got a female giraffe that has come down to the waterhole for a drink. Shame, she looks like something gave her a bit of a fright. There's also some impala in the background there. And I'm looking, she's got some ox pickers on her as well. So this is Jabulani Safari Lodge near Hoedspruit. And yeah, nice to see this female giraffe, and I'm guessing these are red-billed ox pickers that are on this lovely female giraffe. Happy Women's Day to this beautiful giraffe, and to anyone that is just joining us, to all the ladies out there, I just want to wish you a happy Women's Day, and I hope you're all taking a bit of time in this day just to appreciate Women's Day. So KJ is asking a question: do giraffe get injured from the drop at birth? So yes, KJ, giraffe, when a little baby giraffe is born, they are born with the female standing up, and that's a good few meters drop that they are plummeting straight into the ground. But luckily, just like with human babies, animal babies also have very soft, subtle bones, so they don't break any bones. And also that thud that they get when they hit the ground helps them to give that first breath of air. So it is quite crucial in the delivery process that little giraffe, I don't think it needs to be from such a height, but that drop does help the giraffe to take its first breath. And the gestation period for giraffe is about 15 to, in some cases, 15 and a half months. That's the gestation period. Look at these oxpeckers, they're really busy. So this looks like an older female giraffe. Generally, you don't find female giraffe alone. You might find male giraffes alone, but females, normally they travel with other individuals. And again, giraffe are not, they don't stay in the same prenatal group, so they've got quite a loose family structure. They'll move and join this lot this week, and next week move there and come here and go there. So it's not like elephant that you'll always find multi-generations within one family group. Giraffe do mix it up quite a bit and kind of shift between groups, which is very good for species diversity. And when the female giraffe is in season, she will be attracting quite a few males that will persistently follow her for quite a few days, waiting for the opportunity to mate with her. Shame, this female doesn't look very healthy. She might be an older female. Have a look at all these ticks underneath her belly here. Those little black dots are little ticks, which are parasites, and they are feeding off the blood of this giraffe. These little birds, the little oxpeckers, are very busy trying to remove this giraffe of all her parasites. They're not doing a very good job, though, I must say. Those oxpeckers not just only remove ticks, but they do remove other ectoparasites such as lice, fleas, and even flies. It's quite cool. They also remove little botfly larvae that might be in any wound. So they're quite good birds to have around. And off she goes. Having a look in these trees. Maybe we can find some birds. So Guy Robert sent through a comment saying you stayed at Menor in 2008 when the Bateti had flooded past there for 13 years, if you recall correctly. Thousands of zebra came in to drink daily. So Guy Roberts, thank you for sending through your comment. That's crazy to hear the Bateti had managed to flow with water.
My full name is Cedric Leslie Dold. I grew up mostly here in the Lowveld. I grew up here pretty much on the southern side of Kruger National Park, a place called Marlow Park, for most of my years. Something surprising about myself, I did play drums in a band for many years. Best sighting I presented, we found Palumba and the 2 cubs, and the cubs are just way big.
Maybe the elephants are exercising their trunks or resting their trunks because there is an elephant orchestra coming up, or a choir, elephant choir, a silent choir. So they're resting their trunks. Yep, they could just be staring at us and thinking, oh my goodness, these humans, are they watching us again? We did have some superb starlings that came down to the waterhole earlier, and I haven't seen any of those wattled starlings for a while. It'd be cool if we could see some wattled starlings. So Terry has sent her a question, and Terry is asking, do wild animals ever struggle with producing milk for their young? So yes, Terry, wild animals can, and in some cases do struggle to produce milk for their young. It's not as easy as in domestic animals for us to notice this. Obviously they are in the wild, but I find with your sometimes first mothers, so sometimes animals that are having their first baby, they might struggle to produce milk, but the lacking of the production of milk in wild animals can be linked to quite a few factors. For example, poor or little nutrition, if they are ill or have some sort of parasites, as I mentioned, if they're first-time mothers, they do often not produce milk, or maybe don't produce enough milk. Stress can also affect the production of milk by these animals if there's a disturbance by predators, humans, or any environmental disturbances, as well as injury to the udder or the teats. So I know, like, even in wild animals you do get mastitis, which can be an infection or infections up in the udders, which can prevent them from producing milk. So any of these nasty parasites can be quite a bit of a hindrance to their milk production. But generally, nature does go on, and sometimes that's why first-time mothers in the wild are not always successful in raising all of their young. They have so much to learn, especially in cats. I see in predators it can be quite difficult for first-time mothers to protect and look after their young. They maybe don't always hide their little cubs in the right places, and lots of other predators around. They can make these critical mistakes as first-time mothers. But the more litters or cubs or offspring they have, the more they become well-seasoned parents. So Trudy is asking quite a good question about elephants with floppy ears. If an elephant has a floppy ear, can it still cool itself down? So Trudy, I would say probably no. If an elephant has a floppy ear, it's definitely going to hinder its ability to cool itself down. So they would have to probably use more external means of cooling themselves down, meaning they'd have to spend more time near waterholes or at waterholes splashing themselves. They might have to find some cool sand and dust bath themselves in some cool sand, because having elephants' ears play such an important role in circulating the cool blood throughout an elephant's body. So when elephants are hot, they'll often flap their ears, and this cools down all of the blood in those thousands of little blood vessels behind their ears. So with one ear not functioning so well, I definitely think it would affect their ability to cool their bodies down. So you might find elephants with one ear spending more time at pans and waterholes. Alright folks, let's head over to one of our other locations and see what birds we can find. Ooh, have a look what we have here, folks. Isn't this an awesome shot? This would make such a cool photo right here. Oh. So we've got two secretary birds. Isn't this interesting? Wow, these are my first secretary birds in Nguma. I think I did see secretary birds on my Namibia trip last year, but they were very far away. So nice to see a male and female pair of secretary birds, and it looks like they are practicing geophagia. So they could be feeding on some of this mineral-rich sands that's filled with salt. Oh, sorry folks, our signal is not stable over in Nguma, but very cool to see a pair of secretary birds, practicing geophagia. So they were getting some minerals from those soils there in Namibia, lots of sand, lots of salt in the sand in Namibia. So secretary birds do form strong pair bonds that can last for many breeding seasons, sometimes lifelong. They do form these monogamous pairs which typically mate with a single partner each breeding season. So when building nests, they will have joint nest building responsibilities. Both male and female do build the nest together, usually in acacia trees and thorny bushes. So some of our other locations which you could find secretary birds, I've seen secretary birds here in Aldonio.
My name is Amy, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
Even a hyena coming into the action as well now. Oh my word! She's stalking the hyena now. Leopard, hyena, lion, all together in one shot. Oh! Whoa. This is action-packed. My full name is Cedric Leslie Dold. The best driver at Wild Earth, it is me. I believe I'm the best driver. I think so, because I've... best part of my job, I say, is just to try and look out for these animals, track them down. I love tracking animals. I love looking for, fresh tracks, and if you can find them, it's just at the moment of accomplishment. If I wasn't a presenter for Wild Earth, I would be the drummer for AC/DC.
and whenever I need something, I always give one of my vets a little call and find out from them what is going on. But yeah, it is a long time to study to become a wildlife vet. I have a friend that only just qualified 3 years ago, and if I think of all the things I've done in the time that she's been studying, shucks, it's, I guess, the choices we make in life, right? But I'd love to know if any of our viewers have ever thought of studying to become a wildlife vet. Send through those comments. I would love to hear from you. I feel like if you are a wildlife vet also and you're well connected, especially in Africa, the things you can do are endless. So in Africa, wildlife vets, just like GPs and doctors, are not just specialized to one thing. I know a lot of wildlife vets that work with wild dogs and they do collaring. I know a lot of wildlife vets that have gone to Uganda to take blood samples from the gorillas for testing. So as a wildlife vet in Africa, if you have good connections or if you're well connected, you could definitely be involved in some really epic work with wildlife. Yep, more elephants are coming. This male elephant has very long, spindly tusks. So I know a few guides that are doing a lot of studies on elephant aging of their teeth. So I'm not sure if you folks know, but a very good way, a more accurate way to age an elephant is by their teeth and what set of teeth they are on. So generally elephants have 5 to 6 sets of teeth. In some very rare cases they might have a 7th set, but it's very rare. And yeah, there's a lot of studies being done on the aging of these elephant teeth and what factors age them, what factors might wear their teeth down further. It's so interesting. Their teeth almost work in a conveyor belt system. So when one set of teeth is almost worn out, they kind of shift up and slide down and forward. Ooh, check at this big elephant bull coming. We are keeping our eyes open, folks, for 1 ton, the big elephant tusky. He hasn't been around here for a while. We've been praying that he'd grace us with his presence, but I'm not too sure. Oh, could this be 1 ton, folks? Do you think this is him? It's been so long, I feel like I should recognize him if I see him, but it's been a very long time since I last saw him. I don't think this is 1 ton, but these are very impressive tuskers here. Look at these big boys. Definitely some very good genes in this area, allowing for these impressive male elephant tuskers to occur in this area. So it's so important to preserve the genes of these massive elephant bulls. Whoop. He's letting us know who is boss. So we have a question from Moonbeam Smith. He's asking, how can you tell what set of teeth an elephant are on? So again, Moonbeam, elephants are not always so forthcoming when you wild elephants. It's kind of difficult to see inside their teeth. So I know a lot of guides who are very good at aging elephants more on their body type. But once elephants have passed away, then you can use their teeth to age those particular elephants. But yeah, unless they're domestic elephants, it's quite difficult to age an elephant's teeth when they are still alive. Alright, so we've got some comments coming through here. Robin McLean is asking, oh, I recognize the 2 on the right. You call him Forklift and Hooky. I guess this is the 2 elephants that just arrived. We were wondering if this is 1 ton, but it definitely is not 1 ton. I think 1 ton's tusks are way more arched. and much bigger than this elephant. So we've got Fork, Lifty and Hooky. Apparently their names are, according to Robin McLean. Thank you, Robin. But they are very, very impressive elephant bulls. Amazing sets of ivory on them. And Mama Bear has sent through a comment. Wow, this image of the Ellies I would frame for my wall. Yes, Mama Bear, I do like this image. This is quite a cool image here with these elephants and their bottoms. They are giving us their better side. What a lovely view. And I do see this. So Robin said these two elephant bulls that just came in, Forklift and Hooky, and I can see the Forklift with this elephant bull on the left. He does have very long forklift like tusks here. It's very nice to see them all feeding, all drinking just in peace and quiet with each other. Very relaxed. Oh, some superb starlings have just come in. Check out those guys. They are beautiful. And I think there's some ring-neck doves and Cape turtle doves. No wattled starlings just yet. Good. Oh, he is definitely showing off to us. Check out this Mr. Forklift. The big elephant bull in the middle here. He is showing off for sure. He is impressive. Look at that big boy. I would not want to mess with him. It's interesting behavior we saw there just now, folks, with the one smaller elephant bull coming and chasing these new elephant bulls out of the way. Maybe he knows he's got backup. So we're talking about hyraxes. Yesterday we were over at Stony Point having a quiet moment, and we saw our little hyraxes' fangs. And of course hyraxes are very closely related to elephants, and you could kind of really see the resemblance between the elephant tusks and the little hyrax little tusks that they have as well. So very sharp little incisors that they have, those hyrax. And that's for feeding very quickly in order to prevent themselves from being exposed to the elements while they feed. So we have another question from Lucy. Lucy is asking, can a cheetah bring down an elephant? So Lucy, no. Cheetah is definitely not the right predator for elephant. Yes, lions, prides of lions have been known to bring down sub-adult elephants, but again, that's very big prides of elephants in Zimbabwe, Botswana, and I believe some parts of South Africa and Zambia, where these prides of lions have learned how to hunt young elephants. Over in West Africa, you get those hyenas, very large hyenas there in the forest, because they're the apex predator. And these hyenas have also learned to take down very young elephants' calves. So crazy to think of hyenas hunting baby elephants. But I mean, forest elephant herd sizes are very small compared to savanna bush elephant herd sizes. So it'll generally be 3 individuals, so a mother, a youngster, and a newborn. And in case of danger, a female elephant will always protect her newborn. So it's that little sub-adult that'll be following from behind that might get separated by hyenas. So cheetah, Lucy, I'd generally say if there is a cheetah big enough to bring down a small elephant, I'd be rather impressed, but not. Cheetah don't normally hunt elephants. Oh, there's another Ellie joining us. Oop, a little bit of bodybuilder hustling and bustling going on here. does look like a bodybuilder bar with all these big elephant bulls here. How many? There's a lot of elephants here now. 10, 11 elephant bulls all together. Lots of very good genes amongst these elephant bulls here. And you get these elephants with some kind of short, stubby tusks, but it's just so lovely to see some elephants with very good genes and long tusks. So we've got another comment from Guy Roberts. So Guy, sorry, apparently I might have misunderstood your comment earlier about the Bateti River. So thanks for your comment there. I hope that you enjoyed your time in the area, and it must have been such a privilege to see that river flowing. Yeah, I'm sure it was quite an awesome sighting. So thank you for your comment there. This elephant bull seems to be, I feel like he wants to assert his dominance, but he's a little bit unsure because he's quite outnumbered. Now, apparently that Bateti River can go for quite a few years without having any water in it at all, which, yeah, I know so many rivers in Africa that I've never seen with water at all. So, Guy, I hope that the Bateti River does have some water flowing through and doesn't go for too many years like it did when you went to visit. Yeah, hopefully it's a good rainy season this year and there's lots of water in the Bateti River. So just some comments coming through here. Wildlife Lady, thank you for joining us today. Wildlife Lady loved today's live at the waterhole and is thanking everyone and FC and all the Zoomies. Big thanks from Wildlife Lady. Dark Main Lover is also saying thank you Wild Earth, African, Zoomies and Kerry for a wonderful live at the waterhole show. Lots of great sightings and you enjoyed your day. I'm glad that you had a great day with us today. Dark Main Lover. Joanne Mello also sent through her comment. Everybody have a good Saturday. Thank you, Joanne Mello. I hope that everyone has a great Saturday. And thank you for joining us today live at the Waterhole. I know our weekends can be quite busy, but if you've not too much else planned, or you're pottering around the house and you'd like to have some bushy sounds of Africa playing, I think it's always nice to have live at the Waterhole on. Just great to just listen to the sounds of the African bush and see what wildlife is out here. Spas Iankov says definitely elephants were again the stars of the live at the Waterhole. Thank you so much, Kerry, for the great show today. Spas Iankov, thank you for joining and thank you for watching. It has been an elephant-filled week live at the Waterhole. And of course, Aldonio has not disappointed us. I'm glad that the elephants did give the other animals some time to drink yesterday, but yeah, they have come back in full force today and definitely enjoying being the kings of the Waterhole. Alrighty folks, well, I just want to say from me and the rest of the Wild Earth crew, a big thank you to all of our dedicated viewers for joining us today and also for sending through those questions and comments. I hope you all have a fabulous weekend, and again, happy Women's Day to all those lovely ladies out there. Wishing you all the best for your weekend, and I will be seeing you next week on the live drives from Abulla. Have a lovely weekend, folks.
Yeah.
Welcome to Safari Spotlight. Come with us as we discover some of South Africa's wildest places, the Lowveld, the Eastern Cape and the Waterberg. We'll try track and hopefully find some wonderful wildlife while basking in the magnificence of these landscapes. Our locations are diverse and unique. If